Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. This is Newcastle against Man City. Second watch-along of the day. We're cutting it a bit fine, and that's just with Manscaped. But no, we are cutting it a bit fine as well because we're only 2 minutes from the start of this game. But I had to do the match reaction for the Liverpool game, which you can check out. A very, very good return to the Premier League. Lots of goals, which is great. And hopefully we're going to get lots of goals today. I can't see anything other than a Man City win. I mean, Newcastle do need a performance. Of course they do. But I can't see anything, better than that, if I'm being completely honest. It's, a very big day for them, of course, and hopefully they can get something out of it, but I'm not 100% sure as to how that's going to play out, but let's wait and see. I'm just waiting for the kickoff here, and then we can get it up and running. But yes, good to be back with the football. Good to be back with all you people as well. Okay, let me just remove that and let's get that started. There's the league table. That's what I wanted to do. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Man City to kick it off. Team news to go around on the screen. I'm just waiting for this. Here we are. There we are. Started. Okay. Yeah, I can't see anything other than a Man City win. Maybe I'm wrong. Newcastle at Newcastle's always a difficult game, but we've seen Arsenal and Liverpool win here already this season, so maybe that's not going to be the case. There we go. So let's have a look at the team on the screens. We've got Newcastle lining up. Oh, big chance for Newcastle there. We've got Newcastle lining up, but Donnarumma's just lying down, making a save from Harvey Barnes. I don't know how much of a big chance this was. And it was a big chance, and he didn't really get hold of it. That's a big chance for Harvey Barnes. Donnarumma with a sloppy kick out, and I think Harvey Barnes has got to score that. He's put it straight at Donnarumma. Huge chance. Huge chance. Anyway, Newcastle lining up with Pope, Livramento, Thiaw, Shah, Hall, Bruno G, Tonali, Joel Linton, Jacob Murphy, Volta-Maida and Harvey Barnes. Anthony Gordon not actually fit. So I don't know whether that was expected or not. Man City lining up with Donnarumma, O'Reilly, Vardiel, Diaz, Nunez, Silva, Nico, Foden, Cherki, Haaland, Doku. Rodri not on the bench again. Reinders, Savio, Mamouche, Kushinov, Alt-Nouri, all on the bench with John Stones as well. But that was a big chance, wasn't it? Big chance for Newcastle there, and hopefully that's how they're going to start off. I think Newcastle at home are always a better side when they play with intensity. Jarek, thanks for joining the members club. And it's a very high press from Newcastle here as well. They're obviously going for that intensity. Maybe this is the game where Newcastle kickstart their season, although we've said that a couple of times today. And Liverpool didn't kickstart theirs at home. And here we go again. Look, Haaland through one-on-one. And he nearly scored. Pope was out off his line and Haaland tried to chip him and he fluffed his line. So 2 chances in the first 2 minutes here. How are teams leaving themselves like this? Every week, I'm seeing Haaland running through one-on-one from the halfway line. And I know he's one of the world's best strikers and he finds space, but that's just shit defending. So it could have been 1-1 here. It's still 0-0. Such a perfect day, unless you're a Liverpool fan. In which case, I think you're scratching your heads thinking, what's happening? What's happening? But a great start to this game here. Intensity. Slot's gone on Monday, apparently, says Pro Driver. According to who? Don't tell me it's that clown on X spouting shit again. I don't know what's up with Cunha. We'll be talking about that on the 8 o'clock show for the United stand. But fantastic start to this game. Harvey Barnes with a big chance. Haaland with a big chance. Neither taken. And we're still 0-0 after 3 minutes. Of course, the league table's up on the screen there. Manchester City with an opportunity to go a point behind Arsenal. Obviously, that's as it stands, so it's a draw. So they've got 1 point there. But, yeah, I mean, these are the sort of results that you're playing before Arsenal and put a bit of pressure on them ahead of that North London derby, which will also be live for tomorrow. But that's the bottom half of the table at the moment. And as you can see with Newcastle, a loss for them has them very close to the relegation zone. And that's with, as it stands, a point. So they're actually not in a very good position at all at the moment. It's such a better day. Have you seen the post from Paddy Power? Nottingham Forest are now just 6 points behind Liverpool, despite being managed by Ange Postecoglou for half the season. Incredible achievement. Yeah, I'd say City are favourites for this match. Haaland's a bit wide there. He's going to have to cut it back. A little bit less pace on that. I think he could have got the shot off, but he's looking dangerous as per usual. Azar says, I wouldn't bet on Newcastle on this game. Haaland's had 2 one-on-ones already. And Young McKee says, surely Liverpool are out of the title race now. I mean, you're talking to the wrong person. I put them out of the title race a long time ago. I don't know what's happened. I don't seem to be very centred in my camera. There we go. Just needs to be pulled over a little bit. There we go. It's better. P-Doc says, I think we'll get some dodgy refereeing in the North London derby tomorrow. Headed away. Referee's just... I don't know what the referee's on about there. Cunha news. Apparently he was meant to be turning some lights on for Christmas at Altrincham and had an accident in training today, but nobody really knows what it is. I'm hoping that he's trapped his finger in a door and he just can't flick the switch. Maybe he can't be asked. Says push it back. Cherky's got it on the left-hand side. Good skill. And gets the shot off as well. That's good from Cherky. He's starting to warm up, isn't he, to this Premier League Man City side. Simplistic, but worked. Little step over, and it's Man City again. They're starting to dictate the play here. Vidden says, what's your prediction for this game? A draw would be good for us. I don't know what I went for. I have got a bit of paper somewhere with all me and Robbie's predictions, but I went to New York and... oh, I've got it here. I'm not going to spoil it, but Robbie went with a draw and I went with a City win. So that's a differential, potentially. Oh, Robbie, you're having a stinker here. That's one for me. He said Wolves a draw against Palace. Easy points. I won't read them all out. Oh, he's bloody got that one, though. Shit. That was a... No, we got... Brighton beat Brentford, didn't they? Yeah. Oh, you're having a fucking laugh. How's he got that? Scammy bastard. How's he done that? Oh, I'm having a bad week. This is what always happens. I get a good one and I think I'm laughing, and then I bloody can't believe it. Could be opening up a big points lead there. Yeah. Well, in relation to win, lose or draw, I could definitely lose City winning, but. If I had to sack Slot, who would you bring in? Well, I'll put that out for everybody else. If I had to sack Slot, I would be. I think Jurgen Klopp's just so obvious. It's a bit like if Man United had to sack Moyes and you could bring Sir Alex back, and obviously Klopp's a lot younger, so that's where I would go. It's a terrible manager market around this time of the year. Trust me, as a Man United fan, and every other United fan who's watching will agree, when you sack your manager around November, December, it's a crap manager market, and we've done it numerous times. You know, we went from Jose to Ollie, that was a mistake. We went from we went from Ollie to Ranić, that was a mistake. And we went from Ten Hag to Amrim, and ultimately that was a mistake. We had a shit season. I don't think there was that much benefit to taking Amrim in November to taking him in the summer. But you could go and get an Iraola from Bournemouth. You could get Glasner. I don't think that's the right fit. I think Iraola is probably the best Premier League manager you could go for. Klopp, try and get him back. You're not going to get. I just don't know. I don't think the manager's that good. Stevie Gerrard would probably do an Ollie and get you some results in the short term, but in the long term, I think it would be a mistake. What about Pochettino? He's not going to take that job. There's some people that are committed to the World Cup that are going to stick it out. What about Kenny Dalglish? I think Kenny might be a bit past it now, Daniel. Vidan says, is it wrong to at least get the Christmas stuff out of the box this week, not put up to get prepared? I thought I was going to do it this weekend, mate. I was thinking about it. Having spent the week in New York and been around Christmas decorations, I just felt like coming home and not having Christmas decorations just felt a little bit sad. So I can understand why some people do it. But it's such a busy weekend with football, I don't think I'll get a chance. I've got to get my real Christmas tree as well. If you have a real one, you don't want to get that yet. Southgate to Liverpool would be great. Good start to this game, though. The intensity is good. Man City looking the more dangerous side. I think the way Man City play now under Pep as well lends itself to this sort of game away from home where you can let the opposition almost have a little bit of the ball. They have changed, Man City, the way that they play. Like, they are better to watch than they've ever been because they do play a little bit more direct rather than this possession tiki-taka crap. That's a lovely cross. What a save by Donnarumma. I thought that was going to be 1-0. That is a great save. Voltemeda has been very successful getting on the end of Jacob Murphy's crosses already this season. And that's why you have a world-class goalkeeper, because unless I'm wrong, no, it's a good save. It is sort of straight at him, but it's still a good save. Voltemeda, if he puts that in either corner, it's a goal. But I still think he would have thought that might be good enough. Lewis Hall wants a penalty there. He does. I mean, how is that not a penalty? I mean, he did actually clip him. It's almost like they just go, nah, doesn't feel like one. I mean, clearly clipped him. Zidane as manager for Liverpool, is it impossible? Yeah. Yes, Moz. A lot of people saying that's never a penalty, Mark. Mate, it looks, I mean, I'd have to see the camera angle again, but from the one I just saw, his foot goes down his heel. Did you see that Cunha's injured for Monday's game? I didn't see that had been confirmed. Let me have a look. I know he's injured for the Christmas lights switch on. We've got a quote here from Arne Slot. If things go well or things go bad, it's always my responsibility. I tried to adjust a few things that didn't work out. We have quality players. It's my job to get the best out of them. I'm not at the moment. It's my responsibility. There you go. Van Dijk says we've all got to take responsibility. No, I've not heard anything about Cunha missing the game on Monday. That is a very good outlet for Newcastle, though. Get the ball out to Murphy. He's got a lovely cross on him. Eric Ten Hag to Liverpool at this point. Who says no? Says Devo. Joel Linton absolutely flooring Cherky there. They need that aggression, though. You've got to be aggressive. Newcastle at home, we've become accustomed to that aggression. That's a good kick out by Donnarumma, and Doku's very central here. And he runs straight at the defence, and he's going to play this into Haaland. And Haaland, good block. That was a brilliant break by Man City. That's what I like to see. That's not something I've been accustomed to from Man City over the years. I like to see that quick, transitional, exciting football. Foden, little dink to the back post, no one's there. Liberamento will just boot that clear. No, he won't. O'Reilly's got it. Like I've said it before, I don't do agendas. I don't like City. I don't like Liverpool. I think Liverpool over the years have been a decent side to watch, begrudgingly. And Foden's just had a great chance there. I think Shaw caught him a little bit late. Oh, he'll be doing this now. He'll be going like this in a minute. Mate, it's not fucking FIFA. You don't get a penalty for a shot that's gone afterwards. He's gone to block the shot. You've got the shot off. You don't get a penalty for that. No, that's not a penalty. You can't have a penalty for a shot after the ball's gone. If they give a penalty for this, I'm going to lose it. He's already took the shot. We don't get penalties for stuff like that. It's a penalty on a computer game. I thought he got a bit of the ball, to be fair, didn't he? Play on. Yeah, good. Right decision. Never a penalty. I think too many of you have been playing computer games. When you play FC26, that's a penalty, 100%. But not in real life. You don't get a bloody penalty for a collision after you've had your shot. You don't get 2 bites of the cherry. Oh, I've missed the sitter, and now I'm going to have a penalty as well. If he'd scored it, would you want a penalty? Would you fucking bollocks? And that's why it's not a penalty in 4K. If he'd scored the sitter, you wouldn't want it to go back for a penalty. You'd go, no, we'll take the goal. Just because he's missed it, you want another one. Nah, never a penalty. Any other part of the field, it's a foul, says V1. Yeah, well, you can swallow that, because that's just the way that's just the way the game goes, pal. How was the dinner with Mr. President and Ronaldo in the USA, says Devo. Wrong city. I'm not doing a poll on whether it was a penalty because there's too many trolls in here who will just do it for the laugh now. But I've played the game. I've never seen a penalty given for that. He's missed a massive chance. Shah has tried to block it, and with the block, he's caught him late. I ain't giving you a penalty for that, mate. You should have scored your bloody sitter. Get on with it. Trump Tower is on 5th Avenue, yes. I walked past it. Lovely play by Doku. Good block. Wants a penalty again. Is that what Man City do then now? Everything that happens in the penalty box is a penalty. Is Doku again? Wants another free kick? Not going to get one. He probably was tugged off there. Sorry, tugged back. He wouldn't be happy about that if he'd been the first. I sense some Man City goals coming here. Looking back at it now, do you think the point against Forest was a good one, Mark, says Bradley? No. Oh, I can't be arsed with this toxic positivity bollocks. So we drop points at the City ground because we're fucking shit in the second half. And because Forest, a few weeks later, having been with Dyche for a few weeks, beat Liverpool, we should be happy for a shit performance in the second half. No. Absolutely not. You can't compare a performance from a few weeks ago to a performance now. We've got our own job to do. A draw wasn't a bad result in the context of the fact that we should have lost the game, but I think we should have won that game. Thanks very much, Bradley, for asking the question. Everton won't beat us on Monday. They've got a terrible... I mean, we beat Everton 4-0 last year, and look how shit we were last year. Anything can happen in the Prem, I admit, but Everton don't score goals, we do. Trust me, I'm not saying United are going to go on a good run, but Everton has to be a nailed-on win. Wolves and West Ham have to be nailed. There's 3 or 4 games that you can't not win, and Everton's one of them. Palace away could be difficult. Villa away could be difficult. Even Bournemouth at home could be difficult. But Everton at home, Wolves at home, West Ham at home, these games have got to be nailed on. Can Newcastle create anything here? They've had a bad 10 minutes. That's better play. Newcastle, I mean, what's going on with Newcastle as well? Terrible season. I think the first few weeks of the season are so important. It's a lovely no, he's overhit that, Murphy. I think the first few weeks of the season are so important as well in relation to momentum and confidence, because Newcastle didn't solve their striker problem because of the Isak issue and dropped a lot of points because of it. And they've been playing catch-up ever since. I was just thinking, I've got that ball. It's up there, look, top left. I've got the Puma winter ball. Newcastle are a cup team, says TT Videos. Voice. God, some of these usernames are terrible. They're getting worse. Voice says, hi, Mark. Welcome back. Doesn't look like Newcastle could hold out a draw, at least at this point. Doesn't look like. No, it doesn't. Do you think Liverpool would be higher in the table if they'd got Isak first week? Well, that's the point. I think if Newcastle had just let Isak go in the first week and got their strikers in, they'd be in a better situation. And I don't think anybody's come out of that Isak situation in a positive way, because they've had a bad start to the season. Newcastle, Liverpool have had a terrible start to the season. Isak's had a terrible start to the season. Voltameda just left one in on Cherky. There's a ball on here, and Harvey Barnes is going to get it. And it's Voltameda. And it's another good save by Donnarumma. In fairness, Donnarumma has made 3 saves in this first 25 minutes. And it does feel like Man City are the better side. But they have had... He has had to make 3 big saves here, Donnarumma. I think Voltameda was onside here. Shane says Liverpool had a great start. Were they not 5 from 5? No, they didn't, mate. They genuinely didn't. You know, I watched, I think, every single one of those games, and Liverpool were very fortunate to win 5 games out of 5. They did not have a good... I mean, on paper, winning 5 out of 5 is a good start, but performance was shocking. Really bad, and it's continued. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but thoughts on them, says Dale. I just think they've been really bad all season. And as I said, those 5 wins from 5 really papered up the cracks that you thought, well, if they're winning when they're playing badly, imagine what happens when they start playing well, and they've just never played well. Mark, UFC watch-along? Nope. No, you got no chance. That's what you got. Tonali, left-hand side. Crap cross. Corner to Man City. Sorry, Newcastle. Now, Neil says we won them games but never played well. These are the sort of games where I think... Look, Liveramento's just hopping around a bit here. These are those sort of games where I think it's... very interesting to observe what Man City do, because... I would not have put them in a title race this season because I feel they're going through a bit of a transition and they were really bad last year. However, if you can go and win these games, then the consistency of wins is going to increase and increase and increase. And then you've got a Man City side that's very, very dangerous. Nearly 10,000 watching. Thank you, everybody, as always. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Good hold-up play by Haaland. This is where you don't want to be losing the ball, but they've done well there. Harvey Barnes, decent cross, good defending, Diaz. Do you think the argument is fair that Slot won really with Klopp's team and now it's really his they are losing? No, I think it's an idiot comment, Ewan. I suppose that makes you an idiot, which I didn't want to do, but I think it's just... It's so arrogant that people think that it's easy to win a Premier League title when you're not the favourites with somebody else's team. It's difficult. It's like, hold on, Newcastle, he's offside. And he's missed it anyway. If Harvey Barnes was onside then, we've just seen miss of the season. That is incredible. I'm hoping he's missed it because he was offside. If he's onside, what a miss. I'm looking at the line. He's offside there when that's played. I think he might have been offside anyway. Yeah, I think he was offside. Saved by the flag. Need Lewis Hall at United, says Nath. Socken, thank you very much. Did you see any of the famous human-sized rats in New York? I didn't see one rat. I didn't know about this, Samir. When do you see them? I saw a big pigeon, but that was actually a statue. Anyway, go back to what we're saying there. Yeah, look, Slot's not doing very well, and his transfers aren't doing very well, and I think the criticism is valid, but you can't just... I think people always want to justify, well, he was always shit. Well, he wasn't shit, was he? What he did in Season 1 was incredible. He's lost half that team. He's replaced it with players who aren't as good. And that's the problem. And also, he's lost half that team and some of the team from last year aren't performing. I mean, if Mo Salah drops off, you're in trouble. If Van Dijk drops off as well, you're in big trouble. So I think there's a lot of reasons why it's gone wrong. But it was, you know, very, very difficult to win a league title regardless of whether it was a team that had been built by Klopp. You've still got to get them to play for you, week in, week out. Another corner here for Man City. Well, it's been a very quick first half an hour here. I think there's been a good pace to the game. Headed away again. And a shot wide from Cherky. I'm looking forward to the North London derby tomorrow. I'd say Arsenal are favourites for it because they're the better side, but you never know in a North London derby, do you? You don't. You never know. Just as I mentioned it on the previous stream, we've got our first ever Christmas jumpers on That's Football. I'm wearing one of them. It's a goat of Christmas theme, but you know it is That's Football, and we welcome all opinions. So you can take your pick of which one you want. You might want to get both. The two goats. Link is in the live chat, and we do ship them worldwide. But I know which one I'll be wearing, and so do you. You can also we've got loads of mugs that we can give out as well. It's 0-0 here at the moment. Is there any team you've got a soft spot for? Nah. Only United. I don't have. I have a soft spot for good football. I mean, Man United aren't in the Champions League, and I really enjoy the Champions League, and I think there's some cracking games this week. Chelsea, Barcelona, and Arsenal against Bayern. I'll tell you what, we've had... How this game is 0-0, I don't know. Looking at that Haaland chance there, cut back, on his left foot, hits it straight at Pope. That should have been a goal. I think there's been some good chances. Someone in the chat just said Doku or Giggs. I mean, mate, that's worse than Fabregas or Bruno. Doku or Giggs. I mean, Doku's probably had 5 good games in his career. And he was brilliant against Liverpool, but he hadn't scored since bloody the 70s, had he, before that? Doku or Giggs. I mean, that's the definition of the modern TikTok football fan who just loves instant gratification. Doku or Giggs. That's like saying Mrs. Brown's Boys or a Tarantino film. Come on. You're crazy. That's a lovely switch of the play there by Bruno G. What a lovely ball that is. Riley's tight on Murphy, though. He should have put that cross in first time. Goal kick. Doku or Albrighton, more like, says Relax Nation. No, look, I like Doku, but he is that winger that I don't think even he knows what he's doing. Ryan Giggs should be in the Premier League Hall of Fame. I don't know how they're going to solve that. But that conversation needs to be had. Like, Ryan Giggs should be in the Premier League Hall of Fame. And I know some people find that controversial, but we were speaking about the Bellingham thing earlier. We don't avoid football conversations here. So, you know, be aware that you might be offended by a football opinion that's not one you share. But Ryan Giggs isn't going to court. The case didn't go, you know, not guilty. So he should, on his football career, be in the Premier League Hall of Fame. And I don't know why they keep dodging it. As Dave said, he was found. He didn't get found guilty in court. He should be in there. Yeah, and it's just. I think this is part of the problem anyway. I think people want football players to be role models. But actually, there are some really, really nice people who are shit footballers, and there are some real knobheads who are amazing footballers. And if we're going to have a Hall of Fame for football, then the player should be in there for football. And he's won more Premier Leagues than anybody. So at some point, you've got to put him in the bloody Premier League Hall of Fame, haven't you? I mean, Gary Neville's in there, isn't he? And quite rightly so, but he shouldn't be in there ahead of Giggs. Doku or Giggs, you might as well ask Ronaldo or Grealish, says Stephen. I mean, Doku's never going to be on the same page as Giggs, is he? Even if he starts playing well now. I genuinely think Doku's one of those wingers who doesn't actually know what he's doing himself when he's got the ball. And that's what makes him dangerous when he's on a good day. Haaland's having a moan. Wants a yellow card. Here is Doku. A chance to shut me up. And he... Yeah, tackled, you see. He's won it back well, though. Oh, that was late. O'Reilly. The Liverpool board must be having words with Slot about the performances, says VJ. Yeah, I don't know whether anybody saw the match reaction I did, but I did say in there that I don't think it's the time to sack Slot, but I definitely think it's the time to have the conversation about the beginning of the end of Slot. Obviously, we live in a world now where people want to have the, you know, get rid of him, this, that, and the other. I don't think we're at that point, but I think we're at the beginning of it. Slot, buy the t-shirt. Doku or Grealish is a good poll. Well, I'll do it for you, mate. Callie. Either or. I've got a half-time chat for you. I've got a topic for you. Robbie said this would be a draw. I said it'd be a City win. So you can absolutely guarantee this is going to be a draw based on this week. He's having an absolute worldie in win, lose or draw. Every time when I get close, he opens up another gap. Foden. He's going to shoot. He's going to give it to Cherky. He gives it back to Foden. Oh, what a miss. I'll tell you what, it would have been a great goal. And the form Foden's in, that should be a goal. Lovely breakaway by City. Into Foden's feet. He's got runners all over the place. Gives it to Cherky. Gets the cut back. How does he miss? On his strong left foot as well. Oh, just wide, but he should be scoring that. Pep can't believe it. Joel Linton, he's a big lad, isn't he? Everyone is missing. If you've not been watching this game, how it's 0-0. We've had about... It's not just the chances. We've had about 5 really good chances. And the fact that none of them have gone in is remarkable, really. Like, for a 0-0, it's been a good game. What's with all these players taping their hands? Do you think they're preparing for a boxing match? Knobs, says P-Funk. Well, you sort of answered the question. If anyone can answer why Nunez and Foden have taped their hands for a football match, please do tell us. Doku is winning the vote against Grealish with 54%. I haven't really watched Grealish this season. He did win Player of the Month in August, didn't he? Second super chat I've sent, Mark, and you've ghosted both. Not annoyed, just disappointed, says Blake. Well, you should have asked what you wanted instead of having a moan. Your first one, because I haven't gone through all of them, was what's your thoughts on Haaland having a YouTube channel? Absolutely none. I mean, if people enjoy it, why not? I suppose people are going to do more and more of it. Madison's did his thing with Angry Ginge, didn't it? I don't know. I mean, look, they earn enough money. Do they need to be doing YouTube channels as well? I mean, I suppose they're bored, or they want to feed their personality and brand. In which case, let them do it. More and more people will do it. The market will become saturated, and ultimately, they're never going to do anything that's that interesting, are they? They're never going to sit there and be real. It's always going to be gimmicky stuff. But that plays to a certain audience. Fair play. I'd be much more interested in a Ronaldo YouTube channel if he was answering proper questions. But so J.K. Worthing says, it's interesting to know I'm interested to know your thoughts on Gerrard, often cited in the best Premier League players but never won it. Where does he rank on the greats lists? No, I do think that can be a little bit unfair because Luke Chadwick won a Premier League medal and Steven Gerrard didn't. So does Luke Chadwick deserve a place in a Premier League great side? No. Matt Letitia was a fantastic Premier League player in the early days for Southampton. I don't think you need to win a Premier League to be a Premier League great. I think the definition of a Premier League great is a player that's been one of the greatest players in the Premier League. And obviously Gerrard played his entirety of his career in the Premier League and was a very good player. And I'd have him in the conversation as a Premier League great, yeah. Begrudgingly, obviously, because he's a Liverpool player. Mac Andy says, I love from Canada. Hope Arsenal win tomorrow. Thank you. Blake says, I'm just having a laugh. Your content will always be better. Thank you very much for your super chats, pal. We're nearly at half time here. Got a good conversation for you at half time around computer games. Is it wrong for adults to play computer games? I saw something over the international break and I thought this would be a good conversation for a half timer if it's a 0-0. I saw a little clip on the socials over the break saying that I'm not sure I could be friends with somebody, an adult who plays computer games. It's really weird. And I thought, you know what? From the person it's coming from, he's probably typed that into ChatGPT and scripted it. But is it a hot take or a shit take? And there we are, half time, 0-0. Stunned it's 0-0 at half time, to be honest with you. Not been that sort of a game at all. We've had chances for both strikers as well. Haaland and Voltemade with two decent chances. Man City with more possession, but Newcastle have had chances. I wouldn't say it's been the sort of game that Newcastle would want it to be, but I don't think Newcastle are the team I expect them to be anymore. They don't look as on the front foot as they have done in the past. However, they're 0-0 at half time, and I suppose that's something to build on in the second half. G4 says, bro, you could be 90 and play video games. Let me give you the context of this. Not sure I can be friends with a man who plays computer games. It's such an odd thing for you to do. Just to sit there and play computer games. Look, I do it, and I've always done it. And my answer to that person would be, do you say controversial stuff for effect? Yes, you do. And also, at what point are we supposed to drop our controllers? Like, I have played computer games ever since they sort of came out, you know, my Sega Mega Drive. And I don't know at what point I'm meant to put the controller down. It's not like when you're a footballer and, you know, your knee's gone or anything like that. Like, games keep coming out. And, you know, I love film, I love football, and I like computer games. I like playing Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto or football game. I don't know at what point. So I find it really odd that it's odd for adults to play computer games, because I don't really see the point of, like, why you'd suddenly go, I'm too old for this now. So I can't play football computer games, but I can sit and watch football. It's strange. Really, really strange. And I don't really get the point. I don't really get the conversation. I don't. I really don't. I find it really, really strange that people think you hit a certain age and go, oh, man's in his 40s playing computer games. Man in his 20s was playing computer games. I don't. Age is but a number. And I must admit, there are people I went to school with who you talk to them and you're like, when did you become a boring old fart? Because I don't really think I've changed that much. Obviously, you get responsibility and maturity, but I haven't actually changed that much, you know. I think you have to dress in a certain way because you get older and stuff, but I don't think you have to put your controller down because you're in your 40s or your 30s or your late 20s. In fact, I would say those of us who keep hold of our controllers into our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, stay young, you know. Yeah. So I don't see a problem with it at all. But look, maybe it was just said to be controversial. I don't know. Considering you have to be an adult to afford the tech involved to be able to play these games, you have every right to play as an adult, says Nick P. Exactly. And look, you know, we've been talking about Liverpool and the loss of Jota. Was it not Trent at the Liverpool-Real Madrid game who came and dropped a controller on the memorial because Jota used to love playing computer games? I don't think it's weird for adults to play computer games. I really, really don't. I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out. I mean, I might have to wait a very long time, but I can't wait to play that. I really can't wait. Very excited about it. So look, you know, I would say I struggle. I'll give you one, though. Maybe a hot take, might be a shit take. I struggle to understand. No, understand's not the word. I struggle to relate to men who don't like football. That I find that difficult. I really do, because that's a whole massive conversation gone. I do have friends who don't like football, but it's more difficult. It's definitely more difficult because sometimes they'll try and feign interest in something they're not interested in, and I'd rather they didn't. I'd rather we just focused on the things that we do like. But you know, there. Durden says, spot on, Mark. I'm approaching 50 and still playing Call of Duty. Are we talking computer or video gamer? Because there's a difference, says Nick. Oh, we're going into granular stuff now. I don't know what the difference is between computer or video games. Played Detroit is Human, Mark. Might be the best game I've ever played. Thank you very much. Surely a better EPL if Spurs were to take points from Arsenal tomorrow. Processions are dull. Competitiveness maintains interest, says Sean. I mean, I don't think we've got a procession anyway. I think Man City are the real deal. I said this after they beat Liverpool. Whether Man City draw here or lose here and Liverpool and Arsenal win tomorrow, all right, there'll be a bit of a gap at the top, but they've still got to go to the Etihad. I think we've got a title race. I'm not thinking that Arsenal are going to walk away with this anyway. So, I'm 56 and still playing, says Kat. Keep going. And University of Iowa did a study that shows video gamers' brains age up to 10 years slower compared to gamers age 50 plus, says Mr. Jazz. Well, it's eye-hand coordination, problem solving, creativity, yeah. Video games for life, so straight out of Cloyne. Malice says, Doku not knowing what he's going to do. No one ever seems to say this about white players. This type of comment has never really sat right with me. Fucking hell. Jog on, mate. Absolutely jog on. There are plenty of wingers who don't know who play like that. It's the quintessential stereotypical winger that doesn't know, you know, they play like they don't even know what they're going to do themselves. And the reason we say it is because they're moving at such speed that they have to play on their wits. Now, if you want to make that about him being black, then that says more about you than it does anybody else who isn't even contemplating that he's black. So you've missed big time with that one. Dear, oh dear. And this is why when Ian Wright says what he says about Bellingham, there will be people who jump on it and go, yes, he's absolutely right, and use it as a reason for everything. And what he was actually saying is that he, in his belief, it's because Bellingham's got an ego and he's black that the press don't like him. Now, open the conversation on that. We spoke about it before. What I said is maybe Ian Wright's right. We've seen it with Man United. The way foreign players are treated compared to British players is absolutely the same. And that's bigger than being black. That's just not being from Britain. The way I've seen it at United for years, the way some of the press treat foreign players is just completely different. But on the flip side, I wouldn't start Bellingham at the moment because I prefer England to build a team around Kane, and I don't think Bellingham's as good as running past Kane as Rodgers is at the moment. Moses says there are great communities in the online gaming industry. Whoever said that statement's full of shit. They just wanted to be relevant and viral. Well, you'll note I didn't use their name because I think that's exactly what they want. But I think you're absolutely right. I think it was from somebody who just seems to have a talent for typing into ChatGPT, give me 10 topics that will make everybody get pissed off and, me be relevant. There we go. Man U Minute says, Mark's fumbling the Ian Wright debate. I don't think I am, mate. I think I probably just said something you don't quite agree with, which is absolutely fine. And at least I can, create 3 or 4 big paragraphs about my side and interpretation of it, whereas you just put a rude sentence in. Do you think Chelsea are in the title race? The second time I've been asked this today, G-Force. No, and I'm not being disrespectful to Chelsea here, but I think Maresca's doing a great job of grinding out results in the absence of Cole Palmer. However, I see Chelsea as a team that misses a John Terry, a Thiago Silva, a Frank Lampard, a Didier Drogba, a really experienced player to pull it all together. I don't think they have that at the moment. I think their plan is to buy young and generational, etc. But until those players become experienced, I don't see them being a title-winning side. So maybe if they can keep this collection of players together in 2 or 3 years' time, the Enzos, the Caicedos, the Palmers become those experienced players. But I don't think they're ready for that yet. And I also still think that they're better equipped than last season up front, but I still think a top-class striker and a top-class goalkeeper of experience would be the game changer for Chelsea. Grim from SA says, it's the same from people saying anime or cartoon are for kids. These people haven't experienced it and judge it from afar. It's ignorance. Forza is goated. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. I'm a Chelsea fan. I don't think we're in a title race, says James. No, I think sometimes you've got to be on the road to something, haven't you? And I think with Chelsea, obviously they're on a road to something. They proved that last year, winning the Conference League and the World Cup, Club World Cup. What do you think of Landman? I saw that promoted loads when I was in New York. And I did like Yellowstone, and I do like all of the Yellowstones, but I've not given Landman a look at yet. I miss New York. It's good to be back, but I do miss New York. It was just a chill 3 days. It's great. It's great when you can switch off for 3 or 4 days and just, I don't get to do that very often. Like wake up in the morning, go and have a nice breakfast and just have a day to yourself where you can just walk around. I wasn't doing content, so it was just great. It was absolutely great. I really enjoyed it. But it's good to be back now. Work, pleasure, run up to Christmas, loads of football, Champions League this week, good Premier League fixtures this weekend. Bring it on. And we're very fortunate in this country that we have, I know we haven't got enough games on Boxing Day, but we are very fortunate to have such a deep, festive tradition for games over Christmas and New Year. Kenneth says, Was Only Fools and Horses better when Raquel and Cassandra weren't in it? I personally think the best season of Only Fools and Horses was the season where Rodney meets Cassandra. You know, Yuppie Love. I loved that season a bit. I think it's season 5 or 6, where there were 50-minute episodes. I really enjoyed those. But maybe that's because they were the ones I watched when they were coming out. What on planet Earth convinces you that Rodgers should play instead of Bellingham, says Thomas. Oh, God. Look, it's a fair point. He's made the super chat. And I'll explain it to you really simple and slow. I want to build a team. I don't want to throw the best players on the pitch. If you want to throw the best players on the pitch, you're going to find this really difficult. I watched Real Madrid with Beckham, Figo, R9, Zidane, Roberto Carlos, and they couldn't win the Champions League. I watched PSG with Messi and Neymar and Mbappe, and they couldn't win the Champions League. We just watched PSG last season win the Champions League as a team. I've watched England fuck up World Cups and Euros because instead of building a balanced midfield, it's let's play Scholes, Lampard and Gerrard. And I think Southgate was someone like that as well. What Tuchel is doing is building a team around Harry Kane. The way that Bayern Munich have got Elise and Gnabry and Diaz running past him with pace. We have Harry Kane with Rashford and Saka and Rodgers, and they're all fast players who run past him. Now, England might, on paper, you could say put Foden on the left, Bellingham there, Saka there, that's your best team. But I want to build a team. I'm not putting Jude Bellingham or Phil Foden in the team just because they're better players than Rodgers and Rashford. I want to build a team. Now, at the moment, I think we're better with Rodgers in that position because I think Jude Bellingham's a different type of player. And he's got to play his way into that team. And if he plays his way into that team and we're still good, fine. But I don't want to shoehorn talent in. I want to build a team. And I like what we've been doing recently. What do you think Pep needs to do to win this game, Mark, says Duffett? I mean, they're trying to get a penalty for a handball here from a Doku shot that I didn't really see in real time. No, not for me. It's too close to his body. Too close to his body. That's not a penalty for me. I think Mika's trying to say it is, but he's a former Man City player. I think when you look at it at this angle, it's too close to his body. And it's in there as well. It's not like it's up there. Not a penalty for me. Cameron says, Series 6 of Only Fools and Horses was banger after a banger. You had the Doll episode, you had the Groovy Gang, Chain Gang, Jolly Boys out in at the end. Very good, yes. I loved that series. I think City to win the game, Duffett, I think they've just got to keep doing what they're doing. I know Newcastle have had chances, but they've more been on the break. So, I mean, I'd be stunned if this game finished 0-0, let's put it that way. Yeah. Players coming out for the second half. Let me get the timer ready. And we go. Newcastle starting off on the attack again. And I think they've won an early corner. We'll be talking about Cunha at 8 o'clock on the 8 o'clock United Stand show. Fuck yeah, my back's killing me. Mo says, I've heard similar about Martinelli. Ooh! Corner came through the 6-yard box there. Nobody gets a touch on it. It goes out the other side for a goal kick. Come on, Doku. I mean, I'm watching this from at home and I could see he dived on the floor there. Yeah, he's up now. It's amazing how you can go down on the floor clutching your face and then a second later you're up sprinting, defending. These players. 67% for Doku ahead of Grealish now. That was on 54% at one point. Oh, Mo, I think I know what you're talking about. Wingers who don't look like they know what they're doing themselves. Yeah, as I say, I think sometimes as a winger, you're running down the wing at pace and you don't necessarily have a pre-programmed idea what you're going to do. You just trust your legs. And I think Doku is definitely one of those. St. Maximin at Newcastle was like that. On his day, unplayable. And on others, you know, poor. VJ says, can you see any pressure being put on Eddie Howe if league results don't improve? Well, Haaland's in here, but he's on his right foot. Don't let him on his left foot. Good defending by, is it Tor or Tiao? I can't pronounce his name. But then Joelinton's fouled. That was good defending there. I think he's been a decent signing for Newcastle. Haaland running at him at full pelt here, and he timed that to perfection. Especially because he got past his first foot. Yeah, very good. What a tackle that is. Brilliant tackle. Eye on the ball. Yeah, but look, it's not the same as Slot, is it? But I think with Newcastle, I would hate to see Eddie Howe get sacked as an English coach in the Premier League. But I think with Newcastle, you look at it and you go, just looking at this Silva chance. Wasn't far off Bernardo Silva there. You know, it's a results-driven game. It's pronounced like the Italian ciao, so it's Tiao. Okay. Surely we're going to get a goal in this game in a minute. Ooh, Bernardo Silva could have took a tumble there. He stayed on his feet. Where would Newcastle go if they sack Eddie Howe? I think the Newcastle project sort of confuses me anyway, because they're the richest club in the world, I think, with the Saudi ownership. But it's difficult for them to get money into the club because of FFP. You can't just pump your money in as an owner. So Newcastle's ambitions are obviously very, very high. But I don't know, well, I don't think they have the money. I don't think they have the money to invest as much as they would like to. And I think from Newcastle's point of view, there is a sense of deja vu. They got into the Champions League a couple of years ago. They couldn't deal with the Champions League and the Premier League, and they ended up outside the top 5. Then they're outside the top 5. They're not in the Champions League, and they get back into the top 5 again. And here they are in the Champions League, and they're not in the top 5 again. And it's bridging that gap, I suppose, isn't it, to being a consistent Champions League side every year, because they need that revenue. Good cross into the box, headed away. This game needs a bloody goal now. I know I said in the first half it was good with how many chances there were, and it was, but it is 0-0. Do you want City to win? No. I mean, I think it puts more interest on the game tomorrow if City win, and I do want a title race. But I'd never want City to win. Hi Mark, unpopular opinion, Rude was underrated as a striker in the Premier League as hyper top. I don't think you're right. I mean, I remember that. Henry was better than him, but it was Henry and Van Nistelrooy week in, week out that were getting all the praise. I just think Henry was better than Van Nistelrooy. That was the only issue, but they were in competition with each other for the best striker in the league. So I don't think he was underrated. I think the way he left helps. That doesn't help him, but how was New York? Fantastic, Alex. Just still recovering from it a little bit. Body clock wise, but I had a good sleep last night. Good cross. Again, well defended by Shaw. Richard James says, you can make the Premier League more interesting by fining teams for not scoring a goal. Oh, good take there. I'm not saying I'd like to see this happen, but you know, in extra time, and we've done a lot of watch-alongs in games where there is extra time. But in extra time, I would love to see, I mean, I've seen golden goal. I'd like to see that come back. I would love to see in extra time, every 5 minutes, you have to take a player off. So that by 5 minutes into extra time, it's 10 against 10. 10 minutes into extra time, it's 9 against 9. And then at half time, it becomes 8 against 8. Then 5 minutes into the second half, it becomes 7 against 7. So you end up basically five aside. Now, Blab says it would look ridiculous. Mate, it would open up the game so much. I just think extra time is a massive waste of time. You very rarely get a decent game once it goes into extra time. So I think all you're doing really is just tiring everybody out. I think they need a new concept in extra time. Wizard, I forgot they'd even bloody signed him. That's a weird signing, wasn't it? He's not kicked a ball for Newcastle yet, and I don't know whether he's going to fit. I don't know whether he's going to be fit for the AFCON. What's the deal with Anthony Gordon? Is that long term? He played on international break, didn't he? There is a show on the United Stand, yes, 8 o'clock. Steve Grayson says, when they've got Wizard, he's fully fit, he'll be deadly. Hey, I grew up in an era where I think it was done in like, I think they did it, I can't remember what month they did it. I always felt like it was around Christmas time. You used to have the Soccer 6 tournament in Manchester, which basically was a six-a-side tournament for all the top division teams, and they take all their good players as well. I would love to see that. It used to be televised. It was great. Come on. Somebody score a bloody goal. That's a good ball out wide to Murphy. It's a great cross. And he's kicked it straight at the keeper again. I mean, it's a good save by Donnarumma, but does Voltemeda realise that he doesn't have to shoot at the Donnarumma? I think Murphy's looking at that and saying, I would have had a great assist there. It's a lovely first-time cross. Onside. And he shoots straight at Donnarumma again. I think every shot, and he's had 4 chances in this game, he's shot straight at the goalkeeper. If Maguire stays and retire, would he be a United legend, says Hamza. That's the sort of comment I would delete if I were you. You might just get away with it, although I have said it now. If Maguire stays at United, would he be a United legend? Yeah, if we were Maidstone United, mate. I mean, fucking hell. I mean, with all due respect to Harry Maguire, he knows himself he's not a bloody United legend, doesn't he? Can you imagine that in 20 years' time? Yeah, you know, we had Giggs, Beckham, Cantona, Rooney, George Best, Maguire. Absolute bollocks. United 3, Everton 0. Why isn't Seb presenting, says Philip. He doesn't present on the United stand. Oh, Haaland on the back post, couldn't get enough power on it. I don't know how it's 0-0. I really don't know how it's 0-0. Can we have another 60 million for a Wolves player? Says Louis. Poor old Wolves. I mean, it must be a horrible feeling to know, although the newly promoted teams normally do know this, but Wolves are not a newly promoted team. But like, it's not even Christmas and you're relegated, aren't you? I mean, I'm not even saying that for controversy. It's not Christmas yet, and you are relegated. Like, there is no way that Wolves are going to stay up. Not at all. I mean, look at that league table. They've got 2 points. And we've played how many games in the Premier League so far? Game week 12. I mean, look, we're nearly a third of the way through the season. And you've got 2 points. You are, at this moment in time, depending what happens with Leeds, but, well, no, you're going to be 9 points from safety. Yeah, you're going to get relegated. Could get a low points total as well. Who is the last player who played for United you would call a legend, says PK? De Gea? Rooney? I'm not sure De Gea is a legend. He might be a great. I mean, he did win the Premier League. The thing that makes me want to say De Gea is because I think if you'd put De Gea in goal when we had Schmeichel or Van der Sar, he'd have had a better team in front of him and he'd be a legend. The only reason, it's a bit like Gerrard, isn't it? Not winning a Premier League title. Like, some of the seasons that De Gea had was worthy of winning the Premier League. He just didn't have a team around him that was capable of it. I mean, he used to win Player of the Year every year. So I do think De Gea was knocking on the door of legendary status. Rooney certainly was. Bruno's not a legend. Oh, Ronaldo came back, didn't he? Ronaldo, yeah, of course, forgot. Ronaldo came back, yeah. Someone said Alexis Sanchez. No, he said legend, not bellend. And I do say Alexis Sanchez is a bellend because he literally signed for us on 400 grand a week and then wanted to leave after one day. I mean, fucking hell. Foden, over the bar. It's over the bar for Phil Foden. The thing about Maguire is he's got a great key goal highlights reel, so I can imagine in a decade he's hyped beyond his worth like Berbatov has been, says Nick. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of people out there. One of my mates who's a Man United fan loves Berbatov. And I'm like, Berbatov was good, but let's not overplay it. I found him quite frustrating as a United player. He was massively inconsistent. And on his day, amazing. A bit like Doku, you know. On his day, unplayable, but there was a lot of days where he wasn't like that. Lovely play by Newcastle. Can he get the shot off? He can. And he scored it! It's Harvey Barnes. Straight into the bottom corner. Newcastle broke with purpose for the first time in the second half. Raki Reed says, oh, what a day. It could be the perfect day. Newcastle are leading here. And it's 1-0. It's a lovely finish by Barnes. Not John Barnes. He's been retired for a long time, although he did play for Newcastle latterly in his career. But it's Harvey Barnes with a low finish to make it 1-0 to Newcastle. And Manchester City have a bit of a mountain to climb now. The one thing I would say is Man City, I think, have been the better side, but Newcastle have kept creating chances. O'Reilly with a, well, it wasn't a bad clearance. It's just Barnes started it off into Bruno G. Lovely finish in the bottom corner. I mean, he had a very good chance in the first 2 minutes that was a lot easier than this. Lovely finish, but that's a great finish by Barnes. You can't save those. Look at where he puts this. Yeah, that is a great finish. In off the bottom corner post. 1-0 to Newcastle. Well, look, there's still plenty of time for Man City, but if you're an Arsenal fan, you'd probably be looking at this now and going, this could be, at least a draw for City, which would be good for them. Andrew says, would you rather Arsenal or Spurs win tomorrow? I mean, I want Arsenal to win the league out of everybody who's going for the league. I'm not going to lie about that. However, in the context of the game, I'd rather go into it saying I hope it's a good game than I hope Arsenal win. I'm not a bloody Arsenal fan. I want them to win the league over Man City and Liverpool for obvious reasons, but I don't want them to win the league before Christmas. So if Man City drop points here, I wouldn't be bothered if Arsenal Spurs was a draw as well. Chelsea in a title race, says William. TQKS says, do you agree that 0-0 draws should give neither team a point? No, I don't. I'm surprised it took me that long to answer it. Because what if you're like Burnley and you go to Arsenal and you just set up for a 0-0? Like, it would favour... If you go and attack at the Emirates, you're definitely going to lose, but you might get a bit lucky and get a point. Draw is a draw, exactly, says Blur. Chelsea in a title race makes me laugh, though, because there are Chelsea fans out there that don't rate Maresca. Doku on the left-hand side. It normally is very difficult to go away from home after an international break, but obviously not if you're playing at Anfield. Are you going to the pub after this, Mark? No, I've got the 8 o'clock show. I'm going to have a quick bite to eat, and then, yeah. Sorry says, I think City will come back. Corner here, Cherky. Great cross by Doku. Back post, Cherky. And it's 1-1. Diaz, how the hell has that gone in? I don't know how that's gone in. I really don't. They've got two... It's one of those bouncing around in the box. And Diaz goes to shoot from 6 yards out. And they haven't blocked it. I don't know how they've not blocked that. Disallow the goal. He's got blood on his shirt. I mean, Doku does very well to put this cross in. Cherky, there it is. No, they've just not closed him down quick enough, have they? I thought they were a little bit closer to him than they were. Oh, I tell you what, it's a bit lucky there. There's literally 4 Newcastle players closing it down, and it's gone in the one area. Well done. Well, Newcastle needed that to last a little bit longer. Sorry for their ignorance, but why is Liverpool your biggest rival over City when usually it's proximity over success? Do Liverpool put you over Everton? Yes, Cameron, they do. Man United and Liverpool are our biggest rivals. It's the same for Liverpool with Everton, and it's the same for us with City, because Liverpool and Man United share a history of success and rivalry based upon success. And that is why Liverpool is the biggest game. Not necessarily for everybody who's a United fan, especially if you live in Manchester. That proximity derby is obviously important, but for a lot of people, Liverpool is the bigger game. Durock says, imagine thinking... I think Man City could go on and win this game now. You silence the crowd. Diaz needs to go off. He's still bleeding, ref. That is not sufficient. Oh, headed off the line by Bardiel. Harvey Barnes still there. Murphy with the cross. It's lovely. He's at the post. Goal, Newcastle! 2-1. Donnarumma's celebrating as well. Harvey Barnes again. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? It's 2-1. And it's Harvey Barnes. It was bouncing around the goal line. Donnarumma is having a moan. Yeah, book him. Book him, ref. I mean, I don't know. It's bouncing around enough in there. There might be reasons for the goal to be disallowed. We obviously have to be very careful with VAR. We've been stung many times before. But it's... I mean, look, this is the perfect response from Newcastle. Again, it's a bit of a scrappy one. There's nothing wrong there. Harvey Barnes involved in the build-up. The cross comes in. Voltemeda wins the header. Nothing wrong with that. Is Bruno G offside? Bruno Gomes might be offside here. That's what they're calling. Could be offside. Harvey Barnes does very well to turn it in. I think it might be offside on Bruno Gomes on first. Look, you never know from those angles. You never know, but he did look like he was off, as Bailey and a few people are saying in the chat. Be a shame. They're having a word with the captains here. Yeah, he looks offside. Look at his foot. That's offside, isn't it? You can tell. Definitely offside. You can tell by where his foot is and where Diaz's foot is. Liverpool offered players to help United after 58. Says United 77777. Well, I hope they're not looking at it for a push. Still a bit of a debate going on. How long? I thought we had instantaneous offside these days as well. As Mako said, I thought we had automatic offsides. I mean, we were literally told a year ago that we had automated offside that takes seconds, and now we're sat here again. It's giving it! Fucking hell. Get in! But I literally don't know how that's onside. And this is what I mean about the angle of the camera. I don't know how he can be onside because his foot is closer to the 6-yard line than Diaz. So I don't know how he is on, but this is what I mean. We do sometimes look at it and we don't have a fair angle of a straight line. So I thought it was offside, and I'm sure Man City fans would have thought you were okay there. And it's horrible when you're on the wrong end of something. But I was convinced that was going to be offside, but the camera angles are not the best sometimes. And it could have been Diaz's shoulder sticking out, etc. So Harvey Barnes is on a hat-trick. What a day. What a day. You're gonna reap just what you sow. Donnarumma got booked for moaning afterwards. Well, double substitution here from Man City. I mean, this would be a tough loss to take. I mean, we're not quite there yet. It's still a good 20 minutes to go. But the way the game's gone, if you were City, you'd be feeling this is not the sort of game to lose. Maybe a draw, but you wouldn't be feeling like it was a game that you were losing. And yet they are. Triple substitution coming in for City. What's everyone having for tea? I can't believe a week ago I was doing that bloody... Well, don't say bloody, but I mean like... It's only a week ago. Bloody can't believe it. We were doing the charity stream. Feels like it was a lot longer ago than that. It's Bernardo Silva coming off. Praise him, praise him, praise him, praise him. Praise the everlasting King. I don't know what the rest of the words are. I think that was actually I think that was a hymn. I did go to a Church of England school when I was a kid, and we used to sing hymns. So they're probably all hidden in my back catalogue. Would you walk by on the other side when starving children cried? Cross over the road, my friend. That was about the Good Samaritan. Good story, the Good Samaritan. Maybe that's what the Bible was, just a very bloody good story. Who knows? So Savio's on. I think he took Doku off, didn't he? I'm just checking on the subs for Man City. Newcastle winning 2-1 here. We've not been shown the offside line, have we? Was I not looking at the screen? Sometimes I do miss things. It's a lovely cross by Savio. So Bob's on for Cherky. Savino's on for Doku, and Reinders is on for Silva. I mean, look, you've got to make subs in the game, but I think that probably weakens City, if anything. I think Cherky was looking good. Doku's always got that, you know, unpredictability. What are your thoughts on Barnes saying you'd be open to switching his nationality to Scottish the day after the qualify? I'm Scottish and I say no chance, says David. I mean, Harvey Barnes is going to make Scotland better. But I do agree, it doesn't always sit right when people treat national teams like a club transfer. Having said that, Ireland, under Jack Charlton, did brilliantly well at taking a lot of players that weren't necessarily thinking about playing for Ireland, but could do by ancestry. What are you having for tea? I don't know, I might have something light. My body clock's all over the place, having been in New York. I was starving hungry at 11 o'clock last night, because that's 6 o'clock in New York. I went with a City win. Robbie went with a draw. So I would rather Newcastle win anyway, and I would definitely rather they win now. I can't afford to keep dropping points. Did you go to the Cat's Deli in New York? Very good food. I was going to go, but the queues were ridiculous, and I was like, I don't want to waste. There was so much I wanted to do in New York. I didn't want to waste an hour queuing for food, so I binned it off. But there's a great place to get breakfast called Bubby's near the Ghostbusters fire station, just literally across the road. Brilliant breakfast there, but again, it gets very busy. Arsenal fan says, I was sure that was offside. What? Says Peter Drummy. And Constantine says, Man City have been absolutely robbed there. He was clearly offside. Well, he clearly wasn't offside because they'll have the technology to show us he was onside. But I would like to see it again. Here it is. This is it, literally. So he's onside because of the arm of Diaz. There we go. And that's why we can't trust our eyes from an angle, because there's no doubt that the foot of Bruno G was closer to the 6-yard line, but it's the arm. So there we go. That's why it was. Neil says, I went to get some food and I missed 3 goals. It did take too long, though. So Man City got 10 minutes to try and get back into this game. Otherwise, it's points dropped in a title charge. What's wrong with Mamouche? I think he's on the bench, isn't he? Yeah, he's on the bench. Newcastle on the attack. Lovely ball in. Good defending by Nunes. And I think he will keep that in as well. Well done. Alanga, I forgot he played for Newcastle. Is Alanga a bit of a flop? I really thought that was an intelligent signing for Newcastle, and they really, really wanted him. But I mean, that's been a good bit of business. It's the Gooners' years. Well, remember, I mean, this is a great result for Arsenal in the title race, but do remember you haven't got Gabriel, and Arsenal have had a lot of injuries this season, but they've always been able to deal with it. Gabriel, though, I think is such an important player for them. Oh my God, the tiredness is coming. Bob. Blocked. That's my stomach. Hungry. Hungry. I'm hungry. Seven minutes to go. Yeah, the kitchen is basically done now, so I am going to do a live cooking with Goldbridge, which I've never done before. Imagine that. All the stuff that could go wrong. Bang. That's a good ball. That is a good ball. And Voltameda's done well. I don't know whether he'll have the pace. Tonali shouldn't really have the pace. And he wins a corner. Fantastic. How's that a goal kick? Didn't look like a goal kick, but he's given it. Alanga's coming on. And Willock. Harvey Barnes comes off. He won't be getting his hat-trick. But he's got two memorable goals here. Was that a good game, Harvey Barnes? The great thing about both of the Harvey Barnes goals is he actually was involved in the build-up as well. So creative and a finisher. Ward says the second Newcastle goal was miles offside, corrupt PGMOL. I think with the offsides, you can't, it's nothing to do with the very big incompetence levels of some of the officials in the Premier League. That it will be absolutely spot on. When's FM26 out, Yorkshire Gamer? I've heard mixed reviews of it as well. I mean, I don't know. I really enjoyed the last one. Didn't they disallow a goal in the Liverpool game for it hitting that part of the arm, says Stephen Spence? Yeah, I don't really understand the offside rule in relation to your arm. Is Harvey Barnes going to the World Cup with Scotland, says S? I don't know. Oh, it's out now, FM26. Johnny D with a super chat says, you can score with any part of your body apart from arm and hand. So if your head, chest, bum can be further forward than feet, arm does not count. Says Johnny. Back post. Oh, he's caught that wrong, Savio. Could have been 2-2. 5 minutes to go. He skied it. Look at that. He's got a bit of time. But too high. High, wide and not handsome. Well, it's great to have football back, and thank you for everybody who's been tuning in. We were back last night, of course, with our Bundesliga live match on Friday nights, which we are here on every Friday night. Fantastic 3 o'clocks with Forest beating Liverpool, of course. 5:30 here. We've got the North London derby tomorrow too. Get involved in that, as always. And then we've got I'm live on the United stand on Monday night for United, of course. And then we have got the Champions League on Tuesday night, Chelsea-Barcelona. Wednesday night, Bayern-Arsenal. I tell you what, I can't remember the name of the advert, but with these Champions League fixtures, you are really spoiling us. What advert was that from? Come on, someone's got to know it. I think it was Ferrero Rocher. With this Ferrero Rocher, you're really spoiling us. So yes, some cracking games. And we've got Leipzig live on Friday night as well. I don't know what the Premier League fixtures are next weekend. I've not had a look yet. Pep out. Why did he take Doku off? This shows how good first touch finishing is, says Uncle Wave. It's so hard for goalkeepers to deal with a first touch finish, yes. Certainly. I think Michael Oliver. I don't know who Michael Oliver is refereeing this weekend. I don't actually know how you do that. I mean, I'm sure he will be refereeing a game. Got midweek Premier League. Oh, I forgot about this as well. Champions League this week. The week after, we've got midweek Prem. Have some of that. Loads of points. Loads of football. Yeah, next Saturday's games aren't that great. Tottenham, Fulham at 8 o'clock. Everton, Newcastle, R5. Brentford, Burnley, City, Leeds. Sunderland, Bournemouth at 3. Sunday's pretty good. Chelsea, Arsenal at 4:30. Man United are playing Palace at 12. West Ham, Liverpool at 2. Do you think Palace could get top 4 this season? Says the Habsification. I mean, look, Palace are having a very good season. I mean, you'd expect them to beat Wolves, and they did. Got a very tough game against United they've got coming up. Gehi was back today as well. I thought he was injured. Oh, I genuinely thought Gehi was going to be out for the Man United game. 8 minutes added on here. Oliver's doing the North London Derby. Somebody did mention that before, yeah. Well, still time here for Man City. 8 minutes is a long time in football. Robbie said a draw. I said a Man City win. I'm not going to get it right, but Robbie might. Here we are. Another corner. Man City. 8 minutes is about right, Richard. I don't think it's rigged. We've had a lot of stoppages in this half. I mean, the goal itself, the second goal took about 20 minutes. Automated offside, my arse. Corner's cleared. City retain possession. Savio. Reinders. Edge of the box. Savio. Good tackle. Newcastle looking to break. Tenali. And a foul. Didn't look like a yellow card, that. When are you gonna come down? When are you going to... Okay, it was a foul. Yeah. Kicked him there. I'd love you, Tonali, in a United shirt, says Beers. I agree with you. I think Tonali, especially when he was in Italy before he went to AC Milan, a very interesting profile of player. Obviously, the gambling, obviously, hopefully he's past all that because he's a very good player. To answer your question and your Super Cat Habsification, I don't think that they can get top 4, no. Crystal Palace, no. I don't think they can get top 4. Still 4.5 minutes to go. Man City have the ball back. Liverpool downfall is crazy. Also, hello, Mark, says the Reckon guy. Hello, pal. This reminds me, I have to make sure that the 8 o'clock stream is set up. And it is. I'll be talking about Cunha and this injury. This mysterious injury. Booking there for Joel Linton. We'll be talking about it at 8 o'clock, Beerers. Yes. Is City in crisis video? I don't think I'm even going to bother with a match reaction. I've done the Liverpool one. Maybe I'll do a little quick one. This time, isn't it? Oh, that's... Oh, well, they might not be. Oh, cleared away. I tell you what. That could have been it. I don't know. It feels to me like... I feel like if City lose this, it's not that dramatic. Obviously, it's not helpful for them, but... Lovely play by Bob. Fantastic play by Bob. And probably held on to that for too long. Goes for a corner. I don't know. I don't think City are out of a title race by any means, but I think it's a game if you want to win the title. I'd look at that from Man City and say it's not the sort of... It's not like Newcastle have been way better than them. I think a draw probably would have been the right result. And still could be. I think this is the typical after an international break, you lose the momentum because you look at how good City were before the international break against Liverpool. And then you have an international break, you go away to Newcastle. It's a difficult place to go. They've not quite got their rhythm. So I don't think it's drama for Man City to lose. But obviously, if you want to be winning league titles, you can't be losing games like this or even drawing them, really. Well, they might still get a draw. Yeah, Prof Legend says just one of those days where the strikers have forgotten to be clinical. I mean, Voltemada and Haaland have missed a lot of chances today. I did a Liverpool match reaction, yes. Incredible. Incredible day. Still over a minute to go. Got to get it up the other end here. League table wise, if United were to win on Monday night, we go to 21 points, which puts us above Palace into 4th place, a point behind Man City, 2 points behind Chelsea. Obviously, that's dependent on what Villa and Spurs do, but I don't think Villa necessarily win against Leeds, and I certainly don't think Tottenham will win. So United could be in 4th place on Monday night, even though we're in 10th at the moment. So it wouldn't be a bad weekend for us. Chire says, this season reminds me of the one Leicester won the title. Could there be a surprise winner? No, because there's Arsenal there, and Arsenal have been the most consistent side. Referee needs to be blowing up now. We've had 8 minutes. I can't stand it when referees add time on top of added time. But I suppose it's justifiable when there's been a bit of time wasting. Ref, you need to blow your whistle here. Oh, Newcastle have got it on the break anyway. Play Alanga in. Alanga is in. And defender did well. Won the ball. Mate, come on. We've had 40 seconds. That's the whistle. Come on. That'll do. That'll do. City lose as well. Fair play to Newcastle. They needed the points as well. I mean, what does that do for them in league table? Takes them up to only 14th, 15 points, but 5 points off 4th place as things stand. So a bit of a comeback for Newcastle potentially on the horizon. Right, I am going to go and do a quick match reaction. And what am I talking about? Man City have just lost. Of course, I'm going to do a match reaction. I'm live at 8 o'clock on the United Stand as well. So I will see you there to talk about this Cunha injury too. Thanks everyone for watching. North London derby tomorrow. I'll get a match reaction up as well. Speak to you all in a bit. Take care.